put her in the back room because I have my Mastiff here too. And somebody pulled into my driveway and they just go crazy. They hate when people pull into the driveway. It's like the worst thing ever.
I find it entertaining that you have a Chihuahua and a Mastiff.
Yeah, it's fun. It's fun for everybody. Except for the Mastiff. The Mastiff fucking hates it.
Well, the Chihuahua was the one that you'd bring all over the goddamn place with you. You travel a lot for work, and
yeah,
you have a travel-sized dog, too.
Right. Yeah, the Mastiff just isn't transportable.
Fits in an overhead compartment.
Easily. If I was feeling ambitious, she could fit down my pants, too. Yeah.
It wouldn't be the first time you've done that, has it?
Transported her down my pants? I mean, our relationship is special, yeah.
Is that Mulder, or are you just happy to see me?
I'm happy to see you, and Mulder's happy to see you. He.
I was just watching
the
other day, actually, about Chihuahuas having some of the most sensitive hearing of all domesticated dogs.
It's got to suck for them.
Mm-hmm. Itty head, great big ears and eyes.
And the worst fucking voice in the world.
Oh my god. No. I'm gonna give worst dog bark to fucking pugs. Pugs are like the most worthless breed ever.
They are. They're so worthless they just drop over dead.
I've never known a pug that just dropped over dead, but...
Well, because they can't breathe. I'm oh, damn. I'm exaggerating, but yeah, they always have breathing problems because humans are cruel. That is to say, humans have bred them into having those little noses so they can't breathe anymore.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, those flat snouts, they don't heat soak well. I don't know if heat soak's the word I'm looking for. They tend to overheat.
Yeah. So let me see if I can bend this into a segue. So speaking of evolutionary change to thought and culture, was that good? Yeah.
You haven't finished yet.
You're looking at me like
finish digging your way out of this one.
Anticipation. Anyway, what is the topic today?
Your fucking Rocky Horror attempt.
Yes, you got that. So Scott.
So Darby.
This is the Higher Minds podcast. We just already introduced ourselves. We already did it. So
yeah, we're kind of fucking backwards this week, aren't we?
We are. So we cut.
It's Christmas break though, so I'm gonna let that slide. It's okay to be a little out of it. You're already done with work for the week. I got a couple days, and
kinda.
I'm done with work for the week.
Are you taking what are you taking off?
I'm just taking Christmas Day off.
You guys work Christmas Eve?
Mm-hmm.
God bless you.
A half day.
That's awesome. I mean, I don't know if it's awesome for you or not, but keeping that supply coming you're serving the people. Thank you.
Our growers don't even get Christmas Day off. They got to stop in and water and shit, I guess.
Really? How many of them are there?
We have one lead grower and then one assistant grower.
Okay. Oh, it's not too bad. Maybe it is. I don't know. I don't know what it takes. So, now that we know who we are and what we are, what are we talking about? So, we still don't know what we're talking about. What are we talking about?
We don't. We know what we're talking about. The listeners don't know what they're talking about.
I never fucking know what I'm talking about. I have no idea.
That's one of the drawbacks of smoking weed all the goddamn time.
Yeah. One of them, but it's worth it.
Generally.
I don't need to remember.
Anyways, today we're talking about Christmas and Christmas traditions and how they have nothing to do with Christmas.
Yeah. Turns out that most of what we know and what we celebrate about Christmas is false.
I don't know about false, but it's been altered. Most of our Christmas quote-unquote traditions are pagan traditions that the Christians have commandeered.
Yes. They did, and then they started driving it around, and now we got Black Santa.
That doesn't even make sense, though.
No, Santa being Nordic.
Black people
Sorry.
don't typically hang out where it's cold.
No, well, the ones in Michigan do. I mean, there's Detroit.
I guess so. I don't know when the last time I saw a black Eskimo was, though.
No. But yeah, no. I mean, I didn't get into. Actually, did you get into Saint Nick?
The actual Saint Nicholas?
Yeah. No. Okay. Well, that guy was Nordic. I mean, came from what, Germany or Scandinavia or some shit, somewhere up northern Europe. He was a white guy, tradition or historically.
Well, Germany isn't Scandinavia or Nordic, so
Well, it's close enough. It's not African.
it is not African. You are correct there.
But yeah, and then even so I got into the Nativity and basically picked it apart, and most everything we know about the Nativity is either untrue or incorrect. Like, slightly.
How so? Let's get into that one then.
Let's get
Since
into
we're already
it.
talking about that.
Yeah. So I want to cite my sources real quick. I went to BeliefNet.com. I went to LiveScience.com, Snopes.com, NationalPost.com, and Merriam-Webster.com. That last one gave me the definition of nativity. There's 3 definitions. The first being the process or circumstance of being born, especially the birth of Jesus. Number 2, a horoscope or of the time of one's birth. Number 3 is the place of origin. So, the date of Jesus' birth, biblical and scientific scholars agree, was not December 25th. And here's why. The story, if it could be trusted to be more than an allegory to begin with, states that there were shepherds watching over their flocks the night that he was born. Biblical scholars claim that in Bethlehem, at the end of December, it is cold and rainy and ill-suited for allowing your sheep to graze at night. It is unlikely that these events would have occurred at the same time on this day. And I did look up the average temperature for December in Bethlehem historically, and it's in the 40s-ish. So I don't know
So not
which.
that cold, but chilly.
Yeah, and I guess it's the rainy season too. So, yeah.
So you're gonna want a poncho and a hoodie or something.
Right. Or, I guess, wool. Because there's sheep.
You ever get wool wet?
I have.
Wool weighs 5,000 pounds when you get it wet.
What now? Is that a...
Wool weighs like 5,000 pounds when you get it wet. You
Cool.
wear wool out in the rain, and you're just gonna fucking collapse under your own weight.
I don't think I ever have. Like a beached whale. So, Luke chapter 2, verse 7 through 8 of the King James Bible states, "And she brought forth her firstborn son, and wrapped him in swaddling clothes, and laid him in a manger, because there was no room for them in the inn." Verse 8 states that there were in the same country shepherds abiding in the field, keeping watch over their flock by night. So right off the bat, this one's questionable simply because Jesus had an older brother named James who's referred to all over the Gospels. So he clearly wasn't the firstborn son of Mary. So Joseph and Mary sought refuge in Bethlehem to avoid Emperor Augustus's census, which was administered by Quirinius, like a king or like a local area. It was the first of many rounds. The first of many rounds of census taking was decreed just prior to Jesus' birth. Because of the supposed weather conditions, the people who claim to have looked into this say that a census would not have been taken at that time because of the weather, though maybe it was unseasonably warm because the earth was in fact preparing to receive her king. That's a song quote. I'm partial to this reason, which is having to do with the star that announced Jesus' birth. So there were a couple of likely astronomical events explaining this. The one which fits the timeline that we are aware of, that being Jesus was born on 0, The closest event to that was the conjunction of Venus and Jupiter on June 17th in 2 BCE. There was another conjunction between Saturn and Jupiter on October 7th BCE. So it didn't happen when we think it happened too. And astronomically, we think that it happened during the summer.
Yeah, I had read astronomically it was more likely to take place in like mid-June.
Yeah. That's what that was. But other people say because of reasons that it could have happened in the fall, it could have happened in the spring. Astronomically, it probably happened in the summer, but everybody agrees it did not happen in the winter.
Right.
Or anywhere close to December.
So you do know why they chose December instead of the fall or the spring or even the summer?
I have a clue, but why did they choose December?
That lines up with a Roman holiday that was going on at the time. So in order to kind of Christianize the holiday, they just kind of blended the two together over time. You could still have your fun, you can still have parties and everything, but we're doing it because of Christ, not because of the winter solstice or whatever.
And I believe the story goes it was Constantine that declared that they were not celebrating Saturnalia anymore, and that they were celebrating
Keanu Reeves?
Yeah, he came back from the dead. He did some Catholic shit at people, and now they're Christians.
Did he kill a bunch of them too?
Only the bad ones, the non-Christians.
Oh, okay.
But they're not Christians, of course. What else do you do with non-Christians?
I don't remember enough of that movie to keep on with this bit.
Yeah, so it was Emperor Constantine that did it.
Okay.
So you want me to continue on with the...
Go for it.
I'm going to tell you about a few gods who are also born to virgin mothers. Well, not necessarily virgin, but whose births were not... They were asexually conceived.
Immaculate Conception?
Yes. Although there's arguments saying that the Immaculate Conception was the conception of Mary because she needed to be born without sin in order to hold Jesus. So her birth was the Immaculate one, not Jesus's. Or there's argument.
But aren't we all born with the original sin?
Except for her. And that's why it was immaculate.
If you say so.
Yeah, I don't know. It's an argument that I've heard before. Whatever. So Horus, you remember Horus, right?
Yeah.
So Horus, the falcon-headed god of gods, was conceived after his father Osiris was killed. After Set dismembered and scattered the pieces of his brother, Isis gathered all of his parts together and brought them back to life. All of his parts except for his penis. That was thrown into a river and eaten by a fish. And that's how we got sushi.
So the terrorists didn't want him to have a penis.
Jeez. No. I guess not. So, the next one is...
Seems a little weird.
What?
I said that seems a little weird.
Not wanting to have a penis. Yeah.
Yeah. Aren't they all about their virgins?
So, that's a different religion.
No, you said Isis.
Horus. Isis was Isis was Osiris's wife.
This is a joke that has not gone well, is what this is.
Oh. Yeah.
Ha ha. Isis joke.
Isis people. Ha. Sorry. I fucked that one up. That was my fault.
To them? I haven't heard about Isis in a while.
A bunch of them got released or escaped or something. And that's the last I've heard of them. They're now working at 7-Elevens. I'm going to take that shit out. I'm not going to say that. Fuck.
That was good, though. You should leave that one in.
I'm not sure. I'll think about that one.
It's okay because you're brown.
Right. So, yeah, I think maybe I can get away with it. Good thing I said that. The next god is Huitzilopochtli, the Earth Mother of the Aztecs. Coatlicue found a ball of feathers that fell from the sky. Where else are feathers going to fall from? And became pregnant when she placed it in her waistband. Outraged and suspicious of the origins of their mother's pregnancy, Coatlicue's 400 sons and her daughter Coyuquaqui. These are all Aztec fucking names.
I'm so glad you got the section with all the fucking names in it this time.
Yeah, this hurts. Ouch. Anyway, Coyuquaqui killed her mother with her 400 brothers. Her son Huitzilopochtli, the god of war and the sun, sprang from his mother's womb, fully grown and armored, when she was killed.
I bet that fucking hurt.
Yeah, probably. Well, I mean, she was dead. Or maybe, you know what? I'm not sure they...
Walking around with that in there, though.
Oh, yeah, fully formed armored man? Yeah. Ow. Yeah.
Yeah.
I bet that would feel like heartburn.
How didn't he rust?
Well, he was also the god's son, so he evaporated all of her amniotic fluid, I guess. Or could. That's one of his lesser-known powers that nobody ever really talks about. Amniotic fluid drying. It's not really a useful power after you're born, though. That's why nobody talks about it. Okay. Anyway, so Erechtheus was another one. During a thwarted rape attempt, Hephaestus got his semen on Athena's thigh. She wiped it off with a piece of wool and flung it to earth, from which sprang Erechtheus, the mythological king of ancient Athens. Mars is another one. So after Minerva sprang forth from the head of Jupiter, Juno wanted a child on her own. She sought help from Flora, who touched her with a magical flower. I've touched a magical flower too. They're pretty neat.
That's what I call mine.
Because it blossomed up top.
My magical flower.
They fucked up your circumcision. Anyway, so she damn. Now I'm thinking about your fucked up foreskin. Anyway, so she got touched by this magical flower and got pregnant. I don't know how to pronounce this name, but it's QI.
What?
I mean, I was doing perfectly with the other ones.
Qui? He absolutely perfect.
You thought I was fluent Aztec, didn't you?
Yes.
Okay, so, but anyway, this one's Chinese. QI, so Qi, I think?
Qui? Q? I don't know.
Yeah.
This is my
Chi?
section. It wasn't my job to learn these names.
So Shang Huan, his mother, stepped into a footprint of the supreme deity Shangdi, and that got her pregnant somehow.
Why are there never any gods named like Bob or Bill or Susan or something?
The thing about naming gods is you could just make them up. So I think that...
Why not make them up with an easier name?
Well, what I'm saying is just make up a god and call him Bob. William for short.
All hail Bob, our Lord and Savior.
Hail Bob.
In Bob we trust.
In Bob we trust. So is Bob...
Hey, he's already got a fucking comet.
Hail Bob.
A fucking hail Bob comet.
And worshippers already in place.
Wasn't that what that cult with the white Nikes was all about?
Yeah.
Wasn't that the hail Bob cult?
There was a hail Bob one, but I forget about... I forget. I don't know Nikes, but yeah, maybe.
Yeah, it seems like there was a cult like in the 90s. They all
Yeah.
killed themselves with like fresh white Nikes.
Except for their leader, like he didn't end up going through with it, and I think he's still alive or some shit. He like predicted the end of world 4 times. We should do that one. That's an interesting one.
One of these days, he's going to be right and surprise the fuck out of me.
Yeah, eventually. So anyway, so Qi went from being a farmer to the god of agriculture to the unique ancestor of China's Shu dynasty. So, talking about the three kings from the Orient are. Matthew 2:1 states, "Now when Jesus was born in Bethlehem of Judea, in the days of Herod the king, behold, there came wise men from the east to Jerusalem." It doesn't say anything about how many or whom they were. It was generally assumed that the number 3 was decided upon because of the 3 gifts mentioned, which were gold, frankincense, and Eastern religions, which share this story. I didn't realize that there were, but there are that have like a magi exodus from their land into the Western land, which kind of lines up with this.
And when you say east, how east are you talking? Are we talking like India east or China east or?
I'm assuming like yes, both of those, like Hindu and Buddhism, but I don't know. It just said Eastern religions.
Okay.
Australian, whatever the fuck they worship. Anyway.
Crocodiles?
Yeah, they should. At least they should. So anyway, so the Eastern religions claim that there were up to at least 12 wise men that came. There are 3 names associated with the Magi. That is Gaspar, Melchior, and Balthazar. Though these names were attached over 500 years after the birth of Christ. Matthew 2:11 states, "And when they were come into the house, they saw the young child with Mary his mother, and fell down and worshipped him." The reference to a house, there is a reference to a house and not a manger, which is a pretty clear contradiction. Like, if you're the contemporary people who are writing this story down, would definitely not say it was a house if it was a manger, because that's obviously wrong.
Well, they also called him a child and not a baby.
There's that too.
I've heard this theory before where they had left at the night of his birth, and it took them a while to get there.
So, yeah.
Explaining the difference from manger to house and baby to child.
Right. Although, it's what it says is, it calls it a young child in the verse. So, I don't know. It's my opinion that young child and baby can be synonyms. But I do want to address the...
depending on where they're coming from, they're walking and riding horses or camels or some shit at this point.
Well,
it's going to take them a while.
I didn't read why, but there were no camels either for some reason. I forget why. I didn't list that in this list. But I do want to address the contemporary witnesses that wrote this down. There were none.
Just like most of the Bible.
All of the Bible.
Or most religious books, for that matter.
I don't know that. I don't know about any other religious book. Well, except for the Torah, which is the first half of the Bible. But none of it was written down contemporaneously.
No.
Absolutely zero people that were described in there wrote any of that. So, yeah, there's that. And then these men/magi may have been astronomers, and it's likely that they were, which would correspond to them being guided by the star. According to the Bible, there is no evidence, though, that it was a manger. Luke used the Greek word kataluma. I think I pronounced that right. Kataluma, which was popularly translated to inn, but it is more correctly translated to guest room. Whereas there may not have been any room available in said establishment, it's more likely that she was left to give birth in a lower level space, which by local practice probably also housed a smattering of farm animals, giving you the farm animal image. Although Pope Benedict wrote in a book that he wrote, Jesus of Nazareth, the chapter called The Infancy Narratives, quote, in the Gospels, there is no mention of animals, unquote. The animals probably come from the biblical book attributed to prophet Habakkuk, who is regarded as having predicted the Nativity, and who wrote, "In the midst of two beasts wilt thou be known." Later, the animals were said to be said to represent Jews by the ox and Gentiles by it says the ass. I like that one. That would be me. I'd be the ass. Who would both bow down to the Messiah. So there were other things. The shepherds didn't sing. Everybody says that's kind of a ridiculous thought anyway. And there were no angels there. Like the Bible does describe angels, but not in that situation. And that's everything that's wrong with the Nativity.
In the Nativity usually depicted with an angel.
There is. Nope, there's nothing about that. The only angel associated with this, so there's two different angels named in two different books of the Gospels. Although they could be the same, like just the same angels, just two different people named them two different things. But that's the only one was the one that gave Mary the message that Jesus was about to get her pregnant. Or God. Sorry, that's fucked up. That God was about to get her pregnant.
With Jesus.
Jesus. Jesus Christ. So that's the story of Jesus H. Christ.
I forget who the hell it is. Some stand-up has a bit about Jesus. Oh, I think it was Robin Williams, if I remember right. Said about Joseph, I'm pregnant. Jesus Christ, Mary. Oh, that's a great name.
I never heard that one.
I think it was Robin Williams. I might be wrong. Said about it was an
don't
immaculate
know.
conception. Oh, it better been immaculate.
If you're not going to give me any, fuck, nobody else should be getting some.
So now that you've
Just
shit
use
all
virgin.
over the biblical end of Christmas, let's shit all over the rest of it.
Poopy. Let's hear it. I want to hear.
So what are some of your favorite Christmas foods?
You know what? I like Christmas candy corn.
There's Christmas candy corn?
No, I was just fucking you up. Sorry.
Because I'm like one of the few people that actually like candy corn. I've never seen Christmas candy corn. I got
I was
interested
kidding.
for a second.
I mean, I'm sure you can make peppermint flavored wax. Sure.
Probably, yeah.
Okay, I like candy canes.
Candy canes? Okay. What about like cookies or gingerbread men or
Gingerbread
Turkey dinner.
man, gingerbread house. I like turkey dinner, ham dinner. I like green bean casserole.
yeah, eggnog,
Yeah.
cider, spice cider?
Sure. Yeah, I
Yeah.
love that shit.
Yeah, all
Yeah,
fucking
Christmas
pagan
food.
Yeah.
What?
Every
What?
one of them. Except for candy
No.
canes. I don't remember reading anything about candy canes, but with the exception of that, everything we just said is
No.
all fucking pagan foods.
White blonde Jesus came down from God's hand and said, "Here's all this food for my birthday." You got the date wrong, but whatever. At least you're celebrating it. Okay, so they're pagan.
It's
So what's
the
up with
thought
that?
that counts. So, like we stated earlier with the Roman holiday, what was it? Saturn something or other?
Saturnalia?
Okay. There's also Yule, or the Yule Tide, which is what the Scandinavian, Northern Europe countries were celebrating before the Christians showed up.
So that's when a Yule log swells and decreases depending on where the moon is, right?
Yes, that is exactly what it is.
Yeah. Okay, good.
Yule is a year-end celebration that starts on the Winter Solstice, which this year was the 21st.
Yep.
Usually between the 20th and the 25th, the solstice falls on.
In
is-
most recent years in our lifetime, it's like the 21st, 22nd. It's like
Yeah.
the reason it changes is because of precession, which is the tilt of the Earth moves around.
Right. Recently, it's been falling on the 21st for the last couple of years, it seems like.
Well, for most of our lives, that precession is super slow, so we'll never see much change.
Since I've been paying attention to it, yeah.
Yeah.
So, with the winter solstice, that is the shortest day of the year.
Yep.
In the northern hemisphere, at least. The day after this winter solstice is when the days start becoming longer, and you're coming into the new year, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
decorations and traditions and everything that we associate with Christmas. The Christmas tree, for example, it's a Yule tree. Pagans were doing that long before Christians came along.
O Tannenbaum? O Tannenbaum? O Victor liegt something.
What the fuck is a Tannenbaum?
It's a Christmas tree.
Is it?
Yeah. It's German. That's a German song, O Christmas Tree.
If you say so.
I figured you would have known that.
Kind of person.
But you're a German type kind of person.
Ish. I
Well,
like their cars and their dogs.
And you fucking train your dog in German.
My German dog in German, yes.
Well, my Mexican dog doesn't know Spanish.
Well, why the hell not?
Yeah, right? You should ask her. It's her fault. I didn't.
Por qué the hell not?
Okay. So, yeah, you're right. You're right. My bad. I dropped the ball on that.
The Yule Log. You had mentioned the Yule Log
Yeah.
a minute ago.
Yeah.
That's a ceremonial log to highlight the solstice festival. In accordance to tradition, the log must either have been harvested from the homeowner's land or be given as a gift. It must never be purchased.
Oh.
Once dragged into the house and placed into the fireplace, it was decorated in seasonal greenery, doused with cider or ale, and dusted in flour before being set ablaze by a piece of the Yule log left over from the previous year.
So it's like ancient.
So you save a chunk of it to relight the next year's log.
Nice. So it's like ancient potpourri.
Basically, yeah. Yeah. Smells were a big thing with the Yule celebrations, it seems like.
Well, I mean, everybody was huddled in caves and shit and like houses, and they didn't bathe. They didn't have any
Not really
deodorant.
caves.
Well,
They had houses and shit by this point.
my Vikings live in caves.
That's some pretty shitty Vikings. Go out there and fucking take over a house.
They had their own community for like 5 years until they died out.
You can also do a Yule log with a smaller piece of log with candles on the top of it. Instead of lighting the whole log on fire, you decorate it and do candles on top of it.
Is that for those that don't have a fireplace?
Which I didn't dig into, but I was curious if that might be something related to like a menorah, even though the Jewish faith is way older.
And yeah, that's not.
I wonder if those might be related somehow.
I don't know. Like the menorah has a specific like meaning. Like that it's tied to a specific event that's been historically corroborated.
Right. And I wonder if stories of the menorah didn't travel north. You know what I mean?
Or maybe some Jews traveled a long distance and took their traditions. Yeah, maybe.
Possibly, yeah. Because there were trade networks and everything set
Yeah.
up long before this
Yeah,
point.
I mean,
so-
fuck yeah, they went down into
especially
the
with
Middle
the
East.
Roman Empire. Yeah.
And maybe, yeah, you're right. I mean, menorahs are pretty looking.
Yeah, I didn't dig into it, but I'm interested to see if maybe those were related somehow. Anyways, the Yule log would burn throughout the night and then smolder for 12 days after, before being ceremonially put out.
How the fuck did they get it to smolder for?
You're familiar with the... These were basically trees.
But I mean, how did they get it to specifically smolder for 12 days? Or did they? It was just big enough to. Okay, never mind. So is
Yeah, they're just that big.
and it needs to be put
You were
out.
burned like a whole damn tree. Like, we used to have bonfire parties back in the day where we just hook a Jeep to a tree that fell over
Yeah.
and drag it into the fire. And then every hour or so, we'd all fucking heave-ho another foot or two of it into the fire.
That's you're some responsible kids, weren't you?
Alcohol was absolutely not.
I'm sure you're not. You never drank, right?
Never.
So were these in people's houses then? Like, did all these
Yeah.
peoples have
Yeah,
fireplaces
they'd have
big
been
enough?
in houses or in the Great Hall at the center of town or whatever.
And you said the only hard.
Like, individual houses would have, like, stumps, essentially, logs. But in the Great Hall, they would drag in a tree through the front door and just feed the fire.
So the only hard and fast rule you said, at least what I heard, was that you could not purchase it, right?
Right. It had to either come from your own land or it had to be gifted to you.
But the bottom line is it could not be purchased. So what I'm saying is, if there was some Viking that had lived on some land that had no trees for some reason, and he had no friends, probably because he had no trees, he can go out and steal one, and he can still remain compliant.
I assume stealing would be a loophole on the you can't buy a Yule log. Yes.
Okay. I just wanted to know, a little fuzzy on where the laws lied. I was just curious.
So, as we said a minute ago, these logs would smolder for 12 days. That's how long Yule is. Yule is a 12-day celebration, starting on the Winter Solstice.
The 12 days of Yule. I get it now.
There you go. Yep. There's one of the ones that Christmas stole from Yule right there.
You'll be excited. God, that's funny.
That was bad.
Yeah, it was. I'll have to say that to my daughter. She'll love it. Or not. Like, she definitely won't.
So we were talking about smells a minute ago. What are some
smelly people
smells you might associate with Christmas?
So, anything on the warm, sweet, spicy end. Cinnamon, oh God, allspice, apples, little bit of citrus.
Yeah. All things related to Yule.
Yeah.
Some of the major scents that they'd associate cinnamon being up there. Pine, because of the trees, obviously.
Pine, yep. Forgot about that one.
Cedar,
pine candle.
Also the wood smell of cedar. Bayberry, apples. Yeah.
I know what. I couldn't point out bayberry if I smelled it. I know what the fuck that is.
Nope. I'm a straight man. I don't know what the hell that one is.
But it's, to all the men that can't point it out, thank you for listening.
What are some colors you might associate with Christmas?
Oh, that's easy. Green, white, and red.
Yeah. Also Yule colors.
No shit.
Red, green, white, gold, silver, yellow, orange. Yeah. All
not so
the
much
same colors
yellow or
that are
orange
used to decorate for Yule.
So, I have a friend. I was talking to her about this, and she said that the green and red Christmas colors come from holly berries or holly trees.
They do. Yep.
But for Yule.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Not Christmas.
Holly and mistletoe are both green and red and associated with both holidays.
Why the fuck they call it mistletoe? That's so misleading.
Do you expect it to fire ballistic toenails or what?
I would really like it to. Like, that sounds fucking awesome. You don't want to see some dude with some missiles for feet.
When you're clipping your toenails and the fucking clipping goes astray and you can hear like bounce off the wall or whatever.
Like, I aim and I scream mistletoe every fucking time. Sometimes I get people in the eye. That's called a win.
Oh, to be a fly on the wall when you clip your toenails.
You'd be dead. I can get a fucking fly too.
So, what are some traditional Christmas activities?
Well, there is the eating and the partying, the Netflixing and chilling. Is that Yule?
I don't think they had Netflixing back then.
Oh.
They had things like caroling, though.
Carol?
And
I know her.
decorating trees, and
Yep.
exchanging presents, and kissing under the mistletoe, and yeah.
What the fuck did that come?
all
Where did that
fucking-
come from? Like, more mistletoe mysteries. What the fuck? Why the fuck would you kiss under mistletoe? Why not just kiss under a fucking, I don't know, some sort of vine or some sort of, I don't know, a fucking tree? What the fuck? Why mistletoe? What the fuck is up with that? Can you explain that? Is that some
That's
sort
how
of?
you really feel, Darby.
It doesn't make any fucking sense. God damn
What
it.
is your least favorite part of Christmas?
Fucking mistletoes. They're not fucking missile feet, and you have to fucking kiss under them. And it doesn't make sense. Fuck them. That's my rant.
If mistletoes were legitimately mistletoes, I would like
Yeah.
to have seen Red Foreman get a set of them for Christmas one year.
Oh, right? That'd be an entirely different show. That'd be like a fucking John Wick TV show.
He's going to stick his foot up your ass and then shoot a goddamn mistletoe.
Fuck yeah. You and all of your friends' asses at the same time. Commies be scared.
What is wassailing? Do you know?
It's what we hear and go and do. Or it's here. I just fucked that up. I don't know. What is a wassailing?
I don't know. I was legitimately asking you because it comes up in that one Christmas Carol. And
Isn't
it came up again
wassail?
in Yuletide activities?
Isn't wassail a drink? Like, isn't it like a type of cider?
Maybe. Because in the carol, it's here we go a wassailing among the trees so green, I think it is, right?
I believe so.
Yeah, and under Yule activities, wassailing the trees was listed.
Yeah, I don't think it has anything to do with the drink.
Let's
Maybe
go
it
to the
does.
interwebs and see what the fuck wassailing is.
Maybe they pour their wassail out to their tree homies that have passed.
Wassail. Drink plentiful amounts of alcohol and enjoy oneself with others in a noisy, lively way.
That sounds right.
Okay, yeah. So,
So it is a type of cider.
Yeah.
I gotta wassail more, man. We don't wassail enough.
So,
that is something
speaking
I'm going to be saying a lot over the next couple of weeks. Thank you, Scott.
Wassailing.
Yes. It's fun to say, too.
You're just going to get drunk, sloshing your beer around. We're going
Singing
wassailing.
loud songs.
The
Yeah.
fuck is wassailing?
Announcing it every 30 seconds. Wassailing!
I can't wait to hear your end of that because I'm sure you just peaked it like a motherfucker.
Yeah. That's going to be. Guys, if you were listeners, if you are listening to this, turn that down just a few seconds ago.
Yeah. Pull your earbuds out. So Christmas trees. Yule
Trees, day Christmas. Yule trees.
Yeah.
So what's this?
Evergreens were cut and brought indoors to symbolize life, rebirth, and renewal. They were thought to have power over death because their green never faded, and they were used to defeat winter demons and hold back death and destruction. Because of their strength and tenacity, they were also believed to encourage the sun's return.
That's ironic as fuck, right?
That you cut down a tree,
To symbolize life.
life, and rebirth.
They don't stay green if you do that. Okay.
The Yule tree was an important symbol in pagan tradition. Originally, it represented the tree of life, or the world tree, among early pagans. In ancient
Idrisil.
times, it was decorated with gifts people wanted to receive from the gods. It was adorned with natural ornaments such as pine cones, berries, and other fruit, as well as symbols of sacred to the gods and goddesses. In some holiday traditions, garland of popcorn and berries were hung around the tree so that visiting birds could feed on the tree as well.
Aw, so it was
So that's a
more
straight
natural.
up Christmas tree.
Yeah, oh yeah, for sure. I mean, although clearly we decorated in the same fashion, but I've never heard of decorating it with offerings rather than symbolism.
I had heard one earlier. When you think of Christmas balls that you hang on a tree,
Yeah.
generally
Looking
you think of like red shiny balls, right?
right now. Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Apples.
Yeah.
They would hang
They don't-
apples in their trees, which just morphed into red shiny balls.
Did maybe the Vikings have? No, we're talking Scandinavian strictly. When I say Vikings, that's accurate, right?
Ish. It's the area the Vikings came from, yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to continue with saying Vikings. So maybe they had some special fir trees and evergreens that grew apples.
Maybe. Doubtfully,
Yeah, they probably didn't.
but maybe.
I was trying to go somewhere with that, but that one just did not work out.
We were talking earlier about holly and mistletoe with the red and green theme. Holly is supposed to represent the masculine element, often used to decorate doors and windows and fireplaces. Because of its prickliness, it was thought to capture or ward off evil spirits before they could enter the home and cause harm.
And it's like fucking
Mistletoe represents...
and the prickliness of the holly. I used to have a holly tree in my backyard. It was really cool, but the prickliness of it is kind of would serve for home defense a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, a lot of people plant stuff like holly or other prickly bushes near windows and shit to be able to keep people from breaking in.
Cool.
My grandpa had a hedgerow that ran along his driveway because he got tired of the neighbor kids cutting through his yard. So he planted thorny bushes.
Nice. Is your grandpa kind of a motherfucker? Is he still around?
Yeah, he's still around. He's a really nice guy, but don't ever piss him off. He's one of those guys.
I gotcha.
Don't push him too far.
I'm picturing you come from a long line of Clint Eastwoods from Gran Torino.
Yeah, my grandpa does kind of a Clint Eastwood vibe to him. I'll give you that.
Yeah. And if Clint Eastwood were a millennial, it would be you. Actually, it'd be more like if Clint Eastwood and Ron Swanson had a baby. That'd be you.
Yeah, I can see that. I don't like that show, but I like Ron Swanson.
You're fucking Ron. Yeah, it's like, you seem like the type of
Guardians
person.
of the Galaxy guy are the two best characters in that whole damn show.
What's that? Oh, Chris Pratt. Yeah.
Ron Swanson and yeah. I couldn't think of what the fuck his name was.
Yeah.
Guardians of the Galaxy guy.
You seem like the type of guy that would get a job in government in order to shut it down. And I mean, that's what's his character in the show.
Fight the system from the inside.
Yeah. And eat steak. And whiskey.
I want all of the bacon.
I bet sure you understood me.
I didn't say I want a lot of bacon. I said I want all of the bacon.
How much bacon do you think they have? I think I could eat that much. Bacon. Anyway.
So, mistletoe represents the female element. Also holds much importance as it was used by druid priests in special ceremonies during the winter solstice. So this goes back even farther than the Viking area. The druids were pre-Viking pagans in the area.
I've always been fascinated with that sect. We need to do that one time. I've never studied them as much as I want to.
Fun one.
That would be a series, I think.
So they believed that the green leaves of the mistletoe represented the fertility of the mother goddess, and its white berries the seed of the forest god or oak king.
Cool.
Druids would harvest the mistletoe from sacred oak trees with golden scythes, and maidens would gather underneath the trees to catch the falling branches, preventing them from falling to the ground. For if this happened, it was believed that all sacred energy in the plant would pour back into the earth.
Wow. That seems like a mistaken causation correlation thing. I don't think that's quite right.
Better safe than sorry.
Okay, sure. Yeah, let's do it.
When dealing with magic, I think better safe than sorry is a pretty fucking good way to go about things.
Yeah.
So wreaths, those are big Christmas decorations.
I have
right?
one. Yeah.
Yeah, also pagan.
What? No.
Wreaths were traditional ancient times for symbolizing the wheel of the year completing another cycle.
Like the Aztecs.
Bells, those are Christmassy.
Uh-huh.
They were often rung during the winter solstice to drive away demons that surface during the dark times of the year. They were rung in the morning as everyone began to wake to chase away the dark days and herald in the warmer, brighter days following the solstice.
I do that too. My neighbors hate me.
Elves?
Elves, yeah.
What's more fucking Christmassy than an elf, right?
And Santa?
They first became associated with Yule because the ancients knew that the spirit that created the sun inhabited the land of the elves. By including elves in the Yule celebrations, the ancients believed they were assuring the elves assistance and the coercion of the sun to return.
So the Asians helped the elves bring back the sun?
Asians?
Yeah.
Where did you get Asians from?
You said the Asians did it?
No. I don't have anything here about Asians.
I think you said Asians. You said the Asians assisted the elves.
Ancients.
Ancients. Oh, okay. Because that'd be weird.
If they just shipped in a bunch of Chinese people over to Northern Europe once a year.
I mean, they did it in fucking San Francisco.
You got a point, I guess.
Damn, let's shit on America.
Gingerbread.
Mm.
Gingerbread man and gingerbread houses and everything are pretty normal Christmas shit.
Yep, I love those at Christmas.
Also pagan.
No.
Gingerbread was considered to be a specialty bread during the time since ginger had not been available until the Crusaders brought it back in the 11th century.
Oh, really?
There were strict laws regarding specialty breads at the time, so gingerbread was only allowed to be produced during the holidays, and thus it became associated with winter and Yule.
Who the fuck puts regulations on growing ginger?
I think it was just the ability to bring it back and forth. They had to import it.
Well, you just said they put regulations on it, didn't they?
Right.
Like,
Controlling how much of it you could buy, because there wasn't much.
oh, so it was economical? Or just, okay.
Right.
That's crazy. Anyway, so, okay, all right. Ginger also has healing properties.
It does, yeah. That's why ginger ale is supposed to be good for an upset stomach.
Yeah, it's kind of a corrupted version of that, though, so. It's just
Probably.
kids getting pop.
It's
when
just
they're
a way
sick.
to sell ginger ale, because who the fuck wants to drink ginger ale?
You don't like ginger ale?
When have you ever been sitting there thirsty and think, you know what sounds really good right now? A ginger ale.
I do. I like ginger ale. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Ugh,
No? Really?
that's like at the bottom of the list of sodas I would want to drink.
I mean, it's not always. I think my go-to is Coke, but ginger ale is. I like that occasionally.
See, and I'm a Pepsi guy.
Really? Okay.
Mm-hmm. I'll take a Pepsi or even an RC over a Coca-Cola.
That explains our relationship a whole lot.
Yeah, Coke is too sweet and syrupy.
And it's acidic, and it's like flushing out your system. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. If we're getting technical, I'm really a Dr. Pepper guy, but as far as colas go, Pepsi.
I think you can loosely associate Dr. Pepper with the cola family.
I don't know what the fuck you would classify Dr. Pepper in. It's its own thing.
Dr. Pepper, also pagan.
Sure.
I just made that shit up. That's not true. Merry Christmas.
So what's the most, aside from Jesus, what's the most Christmassy part of Christmas?
The gift giving? Santa Claus. Santa Claus.
Okay. Santa. There
Yeah.
you go. There you go. That's what I was
Yeah,
what
yeah.
I was hoping for. So Santa is Odin.
Odin, you say? But he was pagan.
Odin.
No way.
So Odin crosses the skies during the nights of Yule, rewarding the good and punishing the bad. The Vikings and other northern European peoples believe that Odin raced across the windy night skies, leading his pack of gods, elves, beasts, and ancestral spirits in a great hunt against the ice giants and the forces of darkness. This wild hunt, as it was often called, was linked to winter storms and even dangerous omens. While the wild hunt was on, those who provoked the ire of the gods could find themselves caught in bad luck, while those whom Odin favored would receive good fortune and gifts. Though the wild hunt could happen any winter's night, it was especially associated with the 12 nights of Yule. Santa crossing the night skies of the whole world on Christmas night shares similar imagery.
Or the exact same. Yeah.
Yeah. Odin was known for having a flying 8-legged horse, one of Loki's children.
Oh,
We covered
yeah.
that in the mythology episode.
Yeah, he mothered
so
that horse.
Loki gave birth to a horse. Yes, he did.
Yeah.
So a flying 8-legged horse. Does that sound similar to something associated with Santa, like 8 flying reindeer? Maybe?
Huh. Interesting. But you're forgetting the most famous reindeer of all. Where the fuck he come from? Odin have a little shiny nosed
mutant deer with a glowing
Yeah.
nose. I don't think there's one of those in the story.
You know what? Yeah, it was. It was Thor. He was very glowy. He was shiny. Because of the lightning. You were saying that Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer is
So
an allegory
when-
of Thor, who used to guide Odin through the 12 nights of Yule in front of his 8-legged horse because it was too foggy. They never used to let Thor play any games.
Thor did have red hair and a red beard, despite what Marvel would like you to think. So, maybe.
Yeah?
So, the concept of Santa using reindeer, 8 of them, like we were just talking about, was first introduced to the Santa story in 1823 through the poem A Visit from St. Nicholas, a.k.a. was the night before Christmas.
So that's a lot of conflation going on there. Like they're mixing up a lot of different stories.
So that... Oh, yeah. Yeah, Christmas is a fucking mess when you start breaking it down to its...
Well, Santa in particular is
earliest and
Santa
simplest.
in particular is an amalgamation of like everything.
Oh, yeah. Because it's Odin, it's St. Nicholas, it's Old Man Winter, which is another variation of Odin, really.
Krampus is in there.
Seems like there's a Krampus is kind of mixed in
Yep.
with it, yeah. So, when going to war, Odin rode on Sleipnir's back, the 8-legged horse. Though many other Norse gods had chariots drawn by magical beasts, like Thor's goats and Freya's cats.
Freya's cat.
In snowy Scandinavia, a chariot... Yeah, Freya had a chariot pulled by cats.
That sounds
Seems
cute as fuck. Like I would not be scared of a chariot, a cat's pulling chariot.
Yeah, but cats nap all day.
Which
How the fuck are you going to motivate them to pull you around?
that's cute as fuck. Mush, mush, meow. Yeah. Although my cat sounded like it was an adult stray cat. That's not cute. Maybe they were all that.
So, in snowy Scandinavia, a chariot would be replaced by a sleigh in the wintertime. 3 such sleighs have been found in the famous Viking Oseberg ship burial.
Oh, you mean like
You just
archaeologically?
replace the chariot for a sleigh.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because where Santa goes, they don't need wheels. Road. Yeah.
You want to try that one again?
No. I mean, Christopher Lloyd's in there somewhere. I'm sure he was Santa somehow. Yeah.
I was trying to think of a great Scott joke, but I'm a little stoned right now.
That's great, Scott. There you go.
Son of a bitch. So even with the kind of cutesy feel of "'Twas the Night Before Christmas," Sleipnir's power, the 8-legged horse, is still kind of acknowledged in the reindeer names, with names like Comet, Blitzen, which is a play on lightning, I guess. Donder, which is a play on thunder,
It's Donner,
I guess.
isn't it? As in Donner Party?
This has Donder.
Maybe I don't fucking know.
To the interwebs.
Comet, Cupid, Donner, Blitzen, Fango, Mango, Ditzy, and Dot. I don't remember all the names.
It is Donder, but it is often called Donner. So both names are right,
Cool.
I guess.
Like Odin and Woden?
Yeah, essentially. So, what do you hang up near your fireplace come Christmas season?
The skin of my enemies. Is that a pagan tradition? Is that a pagan tradition too?
No, most people hang up Christmas stockings, which is derived from Nordic kids leaving out their boots next to the fire to
just
dry,
use feet. I'm kidding.
as
Well, just
you
the
just use
skin.
the whole damn foot. You fit more shit in them when you get the socks.
Okay. Anyway.
So Nordic children would leave their boots next to the fire with straw and carrots in their boots as a gift for the hungry Sleipnir, fresh from the wild hunt. They would also live out treats for Odin in exchange for gifts being left in their boots for them. So that's where leaving cookies and milk for Santa, and some kids leave carrots for the reindeer or whatever, turned into getting stockings.
Interesting.
Basically.
My daughter used to put out reindeer food. I didn't realize I never did that as a kid. I never heard of it until my daughter started doing it, and now I'm learning it's a pagan tradition. Cool, awesome.
Odin also knew if people had.
Hold on, back up real quick though.
Like Santa Claus.
Did you just say that they used to feed Odin out of a feed bag of sorts? Like, I mean, that's why what the horse said.
No. They would put carrots and straw
And treats for Odin too?
for the horse. And they
In
would
the
leave
boots.
treats for Odin.
Not in the boots.
Not
Okay.
necessarily in the boots. Yeah. I guess it was common to leave fruit or nuts or like jerky or whatever for Odin.
Nuts and jerky. He.
So Odin could tell if people had been bad or good. He was considered the far-seeing, all-knowing god of Norse mythology. He sent out his two ravens, Hugin and Munin, to collect the news from the world every day. We go into more detail on this in our mythology episode.
They were the original Twitter.
Odin would then walk the earth, searching for wisdom and knowledge, and checking in on people that he favored, as well as people that he distrusted. Odin was also the chooser of the slain, who, along with Freya, would judge people's worthiness and take them to Valhalla.
Chooser of the slain?
So
Like,
just
so he was
Santa
like
with his
he played death, or you mean he chose from the slain who went to Valhalla?
once you were dead, he would choose.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
Not that he would choose that you would die,
No.
unless he chose that you die.
I don't know, at least from what I've read, there's not really any stories of him choosing to kill people.
Really? No,
been
I don't know.
Some other gods.
He was himself a prankster a little bit, right? Not a prankster,
Not really a
like
prankster.
not
He was
for
like a
fun,
master of
but a
disguise
trick,
kind of thing. Yeah.
but
Yeah,
a
he
trick
would
player on people
change his appearance
for his own.
and- Yeah, he would change his appearance, and so that way people wouldn't recognize him. He could blend in with society better.
Cool.
But yeah, just like Santa had a naughty and nice lift, Odin did too, essentially. Santa was actually originally called Father Christmas, where Odin was the All Father or the Yule Father. So
Yeah.
Santa is Odin.
And
They're directly linked.
Saint Nicholas.
Yeah.
But no, I would agree with you. I think it's probably more derived from Odin than Saint Nick. Saint Nick just happened. Saint Nick probably served to Catholic it up.
The image of Santa Claus that we have now with the fat guy with the red suit and all that, that really didn't come around until like the 1800s.
1900s, actually.
Prior to that, Santa was typically shown wearing like a hooded cloak, usually blue, which I guess was one of Odin's go-to costumes when he would go out, was a blue hooded cloak.
Yeah, actually, do you know who came up with the current image of Santa?
I know Coca-Cola had a huge role to play with what we think of Santa nowadays.
I don't know the specific person, but Coke is basically attributed to it entirely.
Right.
They're the one that promoted all of that. And that was the early, I think it was, I want to say 1920s.
Was it?
Maybe even a little later. But yeah, it's relatively recent.
Mm-hmm. But even with the red suit and everything, it's still a guy with a great big white beard, just like Odin.
Yeah, oh yeah, yeah. Doing the same things.
Yeah. Doing the rounds, giving gifts, doing the whole naughty nice thing. Like, it's all the same.
Yeah.
So that wraps up what I had here.
Cool. Yeah. Nice, little over an hour. Not bad.
Yeah.
Little long, but that's all right. It's Christmas.
Yeah.
Merry Christmas, everybody.
Let's wrap this with, like, favorite Christmas movie or some shit.
A carol? Do you want to sing to everybody? Let's hear it, Scott.
I absolutely do not want to sing.
Sing A Holy Night. Oh, holy night, the stars were brightly shining. Sing it. Come on.
I really don't, actually. I gotta take a picture of my tree for you.
Yes,
Did you put your tree up like fucking 3 months ago, it seems like?
I put my tree up right after Labor Day. No,
We're the worst kind of people.
I really like Yule.
Yeah, now that you know what it's actually called and is.
Yeah.
No, there are two different types of people in this world. You are one of them and I am one of them. And our Christmas trees fucking say all you need to know.
What is yours? Anarchy?
Nope. Mine is literally the Charlie Brown Christmas tree.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, I want to see it. Please take a picture.
Yeah, I'll send you a picture of it, and you can splice yours and mine together and put them up on the interwebs for us.
Darby and Scott in trees. Favorite holiday or favorite Christmas movie?
Yeah.
Before I tell you my favorite Christmas movie, and I have a feeling we have the same favorite Christmas movie. I just watched this year's version of A Christmas Carol with Guy Pearce and Andy Serkis. Have you seen that?
I have not.
It was produced by the BBC. It is fucking good. It is good. It's more realistic.
I don't like that story, but if I'm gonna watch that story, it's gonna be the Muppets version of it.
Give this one a try. Watch it for the first 20 minutes. And if you're not like, what the fuck is this? By then, like as in you want to see what's going on, then turn it off. But it really is. It's good. It's on Hulu, I believe. Yeah, I know it's on Hulu.
I actually just let my Hulu expire.
Oh, well, I'll let you borrow mine. H&K have mine, so
I can find it on something else, I'm sure.
Yeah. So that was really good. But my favorite is Die Hard, 1 and 2.
Die Hard.
Yeah.
Okay. See, and I was going to go with the curveball, similar to that,
Yeah.
with Rambo's First Blood.
Is that I've actually never seen that movie.
If you... Oh, you've never seen First Blood?
No, I haven't.
How?
I know.
Turn in your man card right now.
Yeah. Well, I haven't had that in years. I was married and divorced.
No, when he goes into the police station, if you look closely, there's a Merry Christmas thing hanging in the background. That's the only thing that even hints at when that story takes place.
Well, except for in the name, blood is red. Christmas is red. Yeah. Christmas.
I think you're reaching there.
He was in the jungles, which are green, red and green.
First Blood doesn't take place in the jungle.
No, but he's a vet of Vietnam.
He is.
Yeah.
That's the first right thing you've said.
Yeah, in the jungle. And that's right, too. And it's green. That's right. Blood is red. That's right. Christmas is red and green. First Blood is a Christmas movie. Thank you very much. I rest my case. Yes.
So what's your favorite, actual Christmas movie? I think I'm going to run Christmas Vacation on this one.
Yeah. I mean, I won't pick that one. My favorite Christmas movie. Scrooged.
Okay, yeah. That's a decent one. I haven't seen Scrooged in forever.
But I mean, that's a Christmas Carol too, so that's a lame-ass choice. But it's still good. Bill Murray.
It's Bill Murray.
Yeah.
It instantly gets cool points just because of Bill Murray.
Did you say Stanley?
I did.
What did you say?
I don't know what I would have said that you would have mistaken for Stanley.
Somebody. I thought you said Stanley gets cool points.
He instantly gets cool points because he's Bill Murray or something along those
In
lines.
Stanley. Okay, I get you.
You need to clean your ears out when we're done recording this one.
I need to put my earbuds in. I can't hear you. I'm sitting here tapping on my head. Never mind. Trying to describe what I was doing to the listeners, but they don't care. They care. I don't know if they care. Maybe they care.
They've quit listening by this point.
I need to make a correction. We talked about in the black.
What you fuck up?
What'd you say?
I asked what you fucked up.
In the Black Wall Street episode, we didn't know what AME meant, and our boy Cameron explained it. AME is African Methodist Episcopal Church. So now you know.
As a black guy, you should have known that. I'm disappointed in you.
Yeah, I mean, I guess you can have my black card too. It's now yours. Treat it well.
Yes. Yes. Now, since I have that card,
No, you can't yet. Not yet.
does that mean I'm allowed to make black jokes now?
Well, only if they're super good. But before you start saying the N-word, go say it to Samuel L. Jackson. That's the rule.
He just had a birthday. Today, yesterday, something I saw on Facebook.
Happy birthday, Mr.
So
Jackson.
this is like a couple days ago by the time you're listening to this. So happy belated birthday, Samuel. L.
Happy
Jackson.
birthday. We hope the next year is your best year ever.
He's like in his 70s. That dude does not look
Is
like
he
he's in
really?
his 70s. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, no, he doesn't at all. Although, if you were to guess, how old did you say he looks?
I'd have probably put him in mid-60s.
I wouldn't even say that old. I'd say 50s.
I'd have guessed him an easy 5 years younger than... Well, I'm just going off of how long he's been acting.
Oh, yeah, that's been a long-ass time.
Because he's been acting since like the 80s.
Wasn't
Probably
Coming to
before that,
America his
really.
first episode? Or his first episode, his first movie? He was the crackhead. Robbed
We have the
McDowell's. McDowell's. Also Pagan.
I can't fucking type to save my ass.
What kind of situation would you be in that you had to save your ass by typing?
Defusing a bomb,
What does your donkey?
which I don't know how to do anyways. So
What does your donkey have to do
I'd be dead, even if I
with a
could type.
bomb? Defuse this bomb on your donkey.
Let's see. Where is his wiki?
Where is his wiki?
Ooh.
Ooh.
So his very first film, 1972.
Oh, wow.
Together for Days. And then didn't do anything until 1980 with The Exterminator.
I've never seen either one of those.
Coming to America was 1988.
Ah.
So he had already been acting for
Was he
quite a
in...
while before that.
Was he in Do the Right Thing?
Yep, that was 1989.
Oh, okay. So it was after. Okay. Did you see they're making it Coming to America too?
Eddie Murphy Raw, too. Who the fuck was he in Eddie Murphy Raw?
I thought that was just a stand-up special.
Me too. He played John Kelcourse.
I don't know.
No idea.
No idea. What the fuck was I just saying? What did I just say?
Damn, he's got a big fucking filmography.
Oh yeah, they've made Coming to America too. Have you seen?
Seems like I heard something about that a while back.
Yeah.
I haven't looked into it though.
Like it's, I guess.
I haven't seen Coming to America in fucking years. I bet I was a little kid last time I saw that.
I've seen it probably more recently than a little kid, but I still remember really liking it. But he was on Saturday Night Live last night, Eddie Murphy. It was pretty good. Well, actually, no. You know, it wasn't very good. Eddie Murphy, of course, was talented and has some pretty good one-liners. He said shit accidentally. That was pretty cool. But he basically just, it was an homage to all of his characters that he did before, and it kind of,
How ridiculous is it that you still can't say shit on television?
Especially Saturday Night Live. I mean, they were saying ass, they said bitch, they said a bunch of cuss words last night.
What time Saturday Night Live come on? Like midnight or some shit?
11:30, yeah.
Yeah. All the fucking kids are in bed. Let them rip.
And if they're not in bed, then they already know those words.
Yeah. So Sam's Jackson's birthday was the 21st, so yesterday as of us recording this.
On the winter solstice.
The Winter Solstice. Yep.
Nice.
71 years old.
Wow. He's
That
almost...
whole black don't crack thing holds up, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, you don't look a day over 45, so...
Yeah, no, and I'm 64. What else? Oh, shirts. We're still going to do that. I'm still working on that. Scott has submitted a couple of more print ideas, and I think they're pretty cool. I like the one better than the other, though. I think I told you that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that one better, too.
Yeah. And yeah, we're gonna get shirts here in the next couple of weeks. And how does one get a free shirt, Scott?
I don't know if we've discussed this, Darby.
We have. It was on the last episode.
Was that the brownie episode where?
Yes. Oh no.
Doing well.
Was it? I thought it was just the last one, the Claire Swart one.
I remember now.
Email us. The first person to email
made
us.
a batch of brownies yesterday again too. I
Nice.
fucking ate 4 of them. 4 might be a lot.
So, did you like dose them evenly? Like, did you measure out? Not evenly. That's not what I meant to say. Do you know how much the doses were?
It was 1,000 milligrams in the pan.
Spread over how many brownies?
So each brownie was between about 50 and 70 milligrams each.
A brownie is a half to 3/4 of a candy bar. Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, if you go out and store-bought shit, because they're all 100 milligrams. In the
You
store.
still have those?
Have what?
The brownies?
The brownies? Yeah, I got some left.
Oh, wow. Have fun, sir.
I'm heading over to H&K's later this afternoon They got a new dog.
I saw. That's so cool.
Did you? Yeah.
How does Jay? Do we call him Jay? How does Jay feel about it?
I don't know. I haven't been over there since they got a new dog.
Oh no, okay.
I was gonna go over last night, but I ate brownies and got way too stoned.
Nice.
So, I'm heading over there later this afternoon. I'll bring some brownies with me.
You should. I bet they'll enjoy it.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me how the dog's doing.
Fucking,
Take some pictures.
who doesn't love getting too stoned off of brownies?
I mean, they're brownies and it's weed. I mean, it's the two food groups in a perfect package.
Yeah. You throw in fucking tacos and you're really onto something there.
Brownie taco. Yeah. Brownie weed tacos.
I want...
Damn, Scott.
I gotta figure out how the fuck to medicate tacos.
Damn. This
Wonder if I could mix it right in with the beef.
just knowledge upon
Could I just cook
knowledge upon
I could cook the beef in can of butter.
yeah. Knowledge upon ideas and creation on this show right here. It's awesome. It's beautiful. So, email us. You get a free t-shirt. The first one to email us. And I guess I'll let you pick the first print too, or what print you want. We have several different options. Pretty good options. Where do they email us?
They could email us at highermindspodcast@gmail.com.
highermindspodcast@gmail.com.
You can also find us on Facebook
On Facebook.
and Instagram.
We're on Instagram.
You can visit our website directly at highermindspodcast.com.
And speaking of that, our website is a little bit improved. The SEO has been updated, and we're getting more hits that way. And it should be getting a facelift and some additional content very soon. Yay! So more Darby and Scott. What you always wanted. Merry Christmas, everybody.
You poor bastards.
Yeah, your standards are pretty low. But thank you. We love your low standards.
Yeah, if it weren't for low standards, nobody'd listen to us.
No, you're right. You're right. I can't argue with that. So,
Yeah, that's been our fucking winter holiday special. Glad we could ruin all that for you.
now go tell your family during your family gatherings about how everything that they're doing is bullshit and pagan and they're all devil worshippers.
Next time you hear somebody saying about the war on Christmas, just remember that the Christmas they're fighting for is a fucking pagan holiday.
It is. It is.
Let them know that too. You go ahead and let them know that it's a pagan holiday that they're crying about. And then report back to us what they responded to you that with.
Record it.
Yeah.
You have a phone.
Yeah. Everybody has a phone. Put that shit on YouTube.
Yeah.
Send us the link.
Yeah. Yeah.
I would love to see
Or
it.
just send it directly to our email so we can post it.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Anyway. So, yeah, this is the Higher Minds Podcast.
I'm Scott.
I'm Papa Darby.
Good Yule, everybody. And
Happy Yule. Deuces.